Hello and welcome to video number 4 of the series Introduction to Google AdWords. In this part you will learn how to select good keywords for your Google AdWords campaigns. My name is Philipp Zuckerik from semgermany.com in Berlin, and here is the overview of the topics we are going to cover in this video. We will start with the question how you can create your own keyword list, some of the methods that are available to you to come up with keyword ideas, then how you select and organize your keywords, and finally how you work with keyword matching options to control which keywords trigger your ads when someone searches for them in Google. To begin with, you need a keyword list. That is a collection of possible keywords someone might type into Google when he or she is searching for your product or service. And first of all, you can start simply by brainstorming some of the words that you think might be relevant. You can do that with or without a computer on a sheet of paper. You can do that alone, or if you want with your team members. What's important when you do that is that you come up with a couple of words and phrases someone could be typing into Google that are relevant to what your business has to offer. Which words describe your product or service best? And that is, of course, the actual main term or expression, how you would call it. So when you're selling coffee machines, it would be coffee machines, but also think of wider, more specific terms and combinations, as for example, automatic coffee machine with grinder, commercial coffee machine for restaurant, etc. So you can add everything that describes your product more in detail, colors, brands, functions, who can use it, sizes, and so on. But also think in terms of problems that you solve. What problem might someone have that you can provide a solution for? For example, when you sell do-it-yourself repair kits for mobile phones, smartphone screen broken might be a good keyword for you. Then you can use the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. If you haven't seen that before, it's a tool within Google AdWords that allows you to enter one or more initial keywords, and then it returns even more keyword ideas. And that can be common combinations, but also alternative expressions or synonyms you maybe didn't come up with during your brainstorming session. You will also be able to retrieve some data to these keywords, for example, the search volume you can expect, how many people in average are searching for these keywords, and also a rough cost estimation, how much you would have to pay for a keyword if you want to get a certain number of impressions and clicks. So it's a very useful tool, and you will definitely benefit from it when you use it building your keyword list. Another tool you can use, or better call it function of Google, is Google Suggest. You've probably seen and used it before. That's when you start typing a keyword into Google and underneath the search bar appears a drop-down with further suggestions. And that is a very convenient autocomplete function that speeds up the search process, but it's also very helpful when you build your keyword list because the keywords and keyword phrases in the Google Suggest database in fact derive from searches that other Google users have done in the past. That means only if a keyword or keyword phrase has been used by a certain number of people before, it will be included into that database. And Google Suggest won't give you any data in terms of search volume, click prices, etc. It is, however, very practical to know what other possible combinations often come up with your keywords. And you can find that out simply by typing in your keyword and then continue with the first letter of the alphabet A and just see what comes up. And then you add a B, and then you add a C, and so forth. But if that seems too much manual work for you, you can also use what's called a Google Suggest scraper. For example, Ubersuggest is a popular tool that will do this job for you and then returns a complete list with all suggestions. And within these suggestions, you may even discover some more relevant keywords. What I find Google Suggest to be most useful though is to identify negative keywords. That are keywords and combinations you do not want to pay for and that you want to exclude from your Google AdWords campaign. So also pay attention to these ones. Often it's keyword combinations that have words in it such as free or reviews or definition and so on. So when you created your collection of keywords, you can go on with the next step to select and organize your keywords. By now what you should have is an extensive list of keywords that describe your products or services. In fact, the goal in the first step was to write down as many keywords as possible. Now you should select the keywords you actually want to include in your AdWords keyword portfolio. That means which keywords do you eventually want to pay money for. And of course, depending on the size of your budget, you probably could use them all, but especially if you want to start out smaller, you should make a good selection first, and then if you want to scale up your campaign later in the future, you can come back to your keyword list and select more keywords to include into your account. So the first advice is think like a customer. What would a potential customer type into Google? Often it's the case that companies have very business-specific vocabulary that only people working in that business environment really understand. A normal customer, on the other hand, who is not using your expert language will most likely express him or herself in a completely different way. So you should use keywords that are being used by your customers. And here it helps when you remember what I mentioned before, when you also think in terms of the problems your customers may have. Then you should select keywords that are relevant to your website. In a best case scenario, someone who types in a keyword into Google and arrives on your landing page will find that keyword also within the headline and somewhere within the body copy of your page. Nobody wants to arrive on a website that has nothing to do with the topic of someone's search. So the more relevant your website is to the keywords you select, the better conversion rates you can expect. Another reason for that is that if your landing page is relevant to your keyword, you will also get a higher quality score from Google, and that means lower click prices and better positions within the search results. And what's also just as important when you select your keywords, you should make a decision how general or specific your keyword portfolio should be. Keep in mind, general keywords usually have a higher search volume, so that you need more budget if you want to include them into your portfolio. More specific keywords or long-tail keywords usually have lower search volume, so you can't expect so much traffic from them. But because they are so specific and describe exactly what someone is interested in, you often see higher conversion rates for them. After you finish this step and selected your desired keywords, you should take another last step, and that is organizing your keywords. Especially when you have a longer list of keywords, you should create groups of similar keywords. What that means is you put all keywords into one group that belong to the same product or topic, so that you already have them organized and can use them later on to create your ad groups in your Google AdWords account. If you're not familiar with the concept of an ad group, what that is, then I recommend you to watch the previous video of this tutorial, how to structure your Google AdWords account. Basically, your ad groups include all your keywords and ads that belong together, so when a specific keyword is entered, the correct ad shows up on the search results page. And in order to keep these groups well manageable, you shouldn't pick too many keywords per ad group. A good rule of thumb is to include around 5 to 10 keywords per ad group. Sometimes it can be a few more or less, but you really want to make sure that all keywords within a single ad group concentrate on the same topic. Don't worry though if you look at your keyword list now and see that maybe you have a large number of long-tail keywords or many combinations of keywords that are comparable, and clustering these into groups of 5 to 10 seems to be kind of difficult, because Google AdWords allows you to work with a couple of keyword matching options, making things easier. And when you understand how to adopt them, they are very powerful and you can use them to your advantage. There are 4 types of matching options: broad match modifier, phrase match, and exact match. Let's have a look at an example how broad match works. This matching option is the most general one. If you want to use a broad match keyword, you just type in the word without any additional signal. In this example, the keyword is shirt. Now this keyword could trigger your ad for search queries such as shirt only, but also for red t-shirt or yellow t-shirt or black t-shirt, the same as for polo shirt or buy polo shirt. But white blouse also would be a possible search query because broad match also allows for synonyms, and in this example shirt and blouse both represent a similar type of cloth. And you see what the advantage of broad match is. If you don't have too much time for keyword research, or you don't know what your customers exactly type into Google, you can just use a broad match keyword and your ad shows up for a lot of different keywords. Personally though, I only very seldom use broad match keywords because probably you noticed the drawback already. With broad match keywords, you will see a bunch of visitors coming to your website that were actually searching for something completely different. In this example, if someone was searching to buy business shirts and instead finds a website selling casual t-shirts only, this person most likely won't convert into a customer. So I recommend using broad match keywords only if you either have a product range that is large enough, or if you want to spend some part of your budget to find out what keywords show up in a real world search environment that you maybe didn't consider using all the other keyword research methods. What I use much more often is broad match modifier. And what that does is that it takes the idea of a broad match keyword, but one that you can control much better. In order to use the broad match modifier option, you just have to add a plus symbol in front of your keywords. In this example, I took fitness shirt and in front of each word added a plus. And this plus now tells Google, whenever someone is searching for something with fitness and shirt in it, please show my ad. So a possible search query would be fitness shirt, but also man fitness shirt, or women fitness shirt, or women shirts for fitness, or best fitness training shirt. So you see, as for the normal broad match option we've talked about before, there also could be additional words within the search phrase, and also the position of the two words fitness and shirt could be different, or it could also be in the plural form, and also typos would be possible. What's not possible though is synonyms. So for keywords with broad match modifier, synonyms such as blouse won't be taken into account. The only condition is that both words fitness and shirt must be part of the search query. And that enables you to control more exactly how relevant your ads become, because now when someone is searching for business shirts and you only sell fitness shirts, your ad won't be shown to that person. But everyone who's searching for shirts in combination with fitness will find your website. Sometimes though, the broad match modifier option is still too broad, and you say, I want both words to be part of the search query, but they belong together in order to trigger my ad. In this case, you can use phrase match. To use phrase match, all you have to do is to put quotation marks around your keyword. And what this does is, it tells Google that these two words belong together as a phrase and should not be separated. It can mean that something may be standing in front or behind of them, but they cannot appear at different positions from one another. So possible search queries could be, again, just fitness shirt, or by fitness shirt, so there is another word in front, or with something else behind as fitness shirt reviews, or with the phrase fitness shirt in the middle, compare fitness shirt prices. All of that would be possible search combinations when you use fitness shirt as a phrase match keyword. So keep in mind, the phrase match option is very practical whenever two or more words belong together as a phrase and should not be standing at separate positions, but something else can be used in front or behind of them. And last but not least, there is exact match as an available option. This is exactly what it says. An exact match keyword allows Google to show your ad only when the search query of someone exactly matches your keyword. In order to give that command, all you have to do is to put brackets around your expression. Now the only possible search queries would be fitness shirts standing alone without anything in front or behind of it, but also the plural form fitness shirts. Keep in mind also minor typos would be considered. For example, fitness with only one S at the end would also trigger your ad, but that's it. No other words in front or behind, no synonyms and so on. And for you to visualize with these keyword matching options, you're able to control how general or specific you want your keyword portfolio to be. So the more you go further down from broad match over broad match modifier and phrase match to exact match, the more specific becomes your keyword portfolio. And what I recommend usually is you want to use as many exact match keywords as possible by the time. So when you figure out after a while which search queries coming from your broad match or phrase match keywords eventually show the best results, then you can take these expressions and include them in your keyword portfolio as exact match keywords and switch off the ones that don't show the results you want. One way to do that is simply pause or delete them. Another way to exclude keywords is to use negative keywords. Sometimes using negative keywords is a much more useful and more elegant way to prevent irrelevant clicks, because it still allows you to take advantage of broad match and phrase match keywords and only exclude some of the words you don't like. To achieve that, you basically have the equivalent matching options available you already know, while you just have to add a minus symbol in front. So adding a minus in front of fitness shirt affects your ad essentially as a negative broad match keyword. That means if both words are part of the search query somewhere at any position, your ad won't show. Adding a minus fitness shirt in quotation marks, then your ad won't show only if both words appear in the same order. Pay attention when you use this one. Even if one or both words are part of the search term, it could still trigger your ad. Only if the two words are being used both and in that order, your ad won't show. And if you add minus fitness shirts in brackets, which represents a negative exact match keyword, it prevents your ad from being shown only if someone searches for that exact term. So also pay attention with this negative option. If someone adds a word in front or behind of the keyword, then your ad will show. With negative exact match, only if the search query is exactly what you defined within the brackets, your ad won't show. What you should also know, negative keywords can be applied on the ad group level or on the campaign level. When you're inside the Google AdWords interface, when you select the Keywords tab and click on Negative Keywords, there you can decide if you want to exclude keywords for a single ad group only, or if you want to exclude them for the whole campaign, which sometimes makes sense when you want to exclude phrases in general, or if you want to exclude them only for one ad group instead, but keep them active for other parts of your campaign. So thank you for watching this video. I'd like to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, please use the comment section when you're watching on YouTube, or visit the website for more information at www.semgermany.com. SEM Germany specializes in Google AdWords campaigns for the German-speaking market, so if you want to run Google AdWords campaigns in countries such as Germany, Austria or Switzerland and are looking for a native-speaking and certified Google AdWords professional, let's get in touch at semgermany.com. Thank you so far and hope to see you in the next video.